Hi guys, I'm Katy Jane and welcome back to my channel. So this week I decided to do a celebrity inspired makeup look. So who else to choose other than Taylor Swift? I'm a huge fan of Taylor Swift and I also love how she does her wing liner and red lip very often slash the whole time, and I always think she kills this look, so I thought I'd recreate it for you guys. So if you'd like to see how I recreated this look, please keep watching. So first of all, I'm going to go straight in and prime my skin. So Taylor Swift in this picture that I'm referring to, so I used it as my cover photo for this YouTube video, but this is going to be the photo that I'm referring to. I don't know if you can see it or if it's going to focus. There we go. So I'm just going really, she is quite fair, so I'm just going to go really fresh in the skin, and it's all about that winged liner. So I'm literally going to take my primer. I'm using That Gal by Benefit, and I'm just going to buff it all over my skin using my Real Techniques. My Real Techniques brush. I'm not sure what this one's called. And as you can see, it's just going to slightly, look at my blemish, brighten up my skin. And then for my foundation today, I'm going to be using my Luminous Silk foundation by Armarni, and this is one of my favourite foundations, and it's one of my lighter foundations too, so that's why I'm just using it for this tutorial. And I'm just going to buff that all over my skin using my beauty blender. So now I'm happy that I've blended that foundation all over my skin. I'm going to take my Perfect Match concealer by Rimmel, and this has a really nice tip to it, so it's a brush. So I'm literally just going to brush it under the eyes just to conceal, and the other side. Taylor Swift I always find looks quite bright, so I'm really going to focus on keeping my highlight nice and bright. And the reason I chose Taylor Swift, guys, is I actually love her. So I've seen her live once and she is amazing. But she's just an amazing performance. I don't love her as much as I love Beyonce. I'm a true Beyonce fan, but I do think Taylor's amazing, and I do think her makeup looks beautiful always. So I'm just gonna blend out that concealer. So now I'm going to move on to my eyes, and then I'm going to come back to my skin. So Taylor Swift in this particular, or just in this particular photo and always, her eyebrows aren't super sharp, and for those of you that have seen some other of my tutorials, you know I do quite like using my Dip Balm pomade by Anastasia Beverly Hills to make that nice sharp edge. However, today I'm going to be using a pencil. I'm just going to brush them up, make sure I've got no lines, and then I'm just going to take my Anastasia Beverly Hills in Brow Wiz in dark brown. I'm just going to, using like sweeps in the same direction, I'm just going to slightly shape it, but not having a really harsh line like normal, but I mean it's shaping them a little bit, but it's not as structured. And then I'm going to take my Anastasia Beverly Hills duo powder again in soft brown, and if you guys have a look, if you haven't seen it before, you can see that it's like 2 shades, and I'm just going to be using the lighter shade on my left, and I'm going to use the Anastasia Beverly Hills duo brush. So I use this to brush up my eyebrows a minute ago, and now I'm using the other side, and I'm just going to fill them out slightly, just more on the top. But as you can see, it's a lot more vague than usual, not as sharp, but we're still shaping the face. So there's my eyebrows done. So next I'm going to take Painterly by Balm Cosmetics, and I'm just going to put that all over the lid as a base. So in this particular photo, Taylor doesn't use much eyeshadow or much on the eyes other than a really prominent wing. So I'm just going to take a palette from the Balm Cosmetics, and this one is called Meat Matte Nudes, and I'm going to be using Matte Sai and Matte Malloy. But this palette's really beautiful, guys. It's all matte. I'm actually quite a fan of this. I don't use it that often, but when I do, I always think, why don't I use it a little bit more? So now I put the primer on, I'm just going to use the Matte Malloy, which is a slightly lighter one, and set that primer. This is basically an off-white, so it's just going to really brighten up our eyes, like Taylor Swift does. And I'm just going to do the other side too. And guys, I'm just using my 217 brush by MAC Cosmetics, and this is, I'm going to try and use this brush for both of the colours, just so we're not using 1,000 brushes. So I'm just taking that kind of like halfway between, and then I'm just going to take my Matte Sai using the same brush, and I'm just going to run that along my crease. And I'm just buffing it in and just blending it slightly outwards as well. I'm just going to go in and do the wing, so I just run it along the end of my eye. And kind of just flick it out. Like so, and then I'm just going to bring it round. I should sound like this, so this is a little bit easier. See? And then I'm just going to go over this with my Tom Ford liner eye defining pen, and I'm just going to go over the top of it to make it super black. So you can kind of So once you're happy with your wing liner and you're happy that they're nice and even, you can move on to the lashes. So the lashes that I'm going to be using today they're like a new brand, fairly nude, and they're called Annytude. And for those that maybe don't follow her, her name is Makeup by Anne, like A-N, and she's done really well recently, like over the last year. I would say she's done really well. She's constantly getting shouted out. She brought out her lash range, I think when she reached like 1 million followers, and actually I really like them. So I only bought a couple of pairs, and I thought this one was best suited for this look because I find that the picture that I'm referring to, Taylor Swift isn't super lashy. It's almost as if she's not wearing any lashes, she's just her own natural lashes. So I'm just gonna pop these on like so, and the great thing about these, they're really nicely bent in place, so they can, I find that some lashes you really got to pull one end and the other end down, but these ones are really beautifully curved, so they kind of literally just slot into place like so. And then I'm just going to take my Kiko mascara and I'm just going to blend the lashes and the fake lashes and my real lashes together with a little bit of mascara. And I'm just going to do a little layer on the bottom, being careful that I don't, sorry, I've completely hid myself then. So just doing a little layer on the bottom just to be careful I don't get it on my skin. So now I'm going to move on to the skin, and we've already done the base. I'm just going to pop a little bit of highlighter. I did talk about this one in my February favourites last week. This is a Kiko Natural Concealer, which I'm using as a highlighter in shade 01, and I'm just going to pop a little bit here just to make sure that we're looking really bright underneath the eye. And then I'm just going to set my skin using the NARS Translucent Powder in Crystal. It's like translucent crystal, because there's, I think NARS do two. They do a translucent matte one, and then they also do one, this crystal one, which has a little bit of a shimmer to it. So I don't want to be too matte all over. So Taylor didn't look like she had much highlighter on in this photo. I think obviously if she's performing, she's not going to like drench herself in highlighter like we all do. So I'm just going to not do highlighter today, but I'm going to take my Bare Minerals bronzer in the deep end, and I'm just going to really lightly go underneath my cheekbones. Likewise, she never looks particularly bronzed, so we're just going to keep it really fresh, but go under those cheekbones just to have a little bit of definition. But for people who are slightly more fairer like me and Taylor, we don't want to have that harsh contour that people who are slightly darker can get away with. So I just done a little touch. And then for blusher, I'm also going to be using Bare Minerals, and I'm going to be using this shade in the Natural High, which is kind of like a soft pinky peachy colour, and using the same brush, which is the 126 the Weaver brush. I'm just going to slowly blend that on my cheeks. As you can see, it's quite a strong blusher, so if you feel like you've put a little bit too much on like me, just blend it out slightly. Thing is, when you wear red lipstick, you can afford to have a little bit more colour in the cheeks, because obviously the red is going to be so bright. And then we've kind of finished the skin, and last but not least, I'm going to be going in with the red. So I've actually researched this all over the internet, and there's a couple of people that have tweeted her over the last years that I've kind of found saying what red does she use, and it often does look like it's Ruby Woo, which it might well be, but everywhere, even in like an interview, she said that she was wearing the Mysterious Red by NARS. So I'm going to be using the Mysterious Red today as I have it. It's really similar to Ruby Woo, but I feel like it's a little bit darker. So I'm just going to go in, and because it's just a pencil, we can just go in really vaguely and go on the top and bottom, like so. I can't find them. So I'm just going to be using my Real Techniques detail brush, which is a really great one for lips, and then I'm just going to go around and shape that red. So guys, that's the end of my Taylor Swift inspired makeup look. If you liked it, don't forget to give me a thumbs up and do subscribe down below. Also do comment if you'd like me to recreate any other celebrity inspired looks. Don't forget you can follow me on Instagram, Facebook and Twitter, all under the name of makeup_by_Katy Jane. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I shall see you next week.